well, it's Agnes coming to you with the project that I've made with my friends on Facebook Live. So I do wanted to share that with you. As you can see, I have feathers, book pages, construction paper, and all that stuff that I'm going to actually try to put it into some fun spring decoration. So my goal here was to reinforce my book pages. So I decided to use the piece of the construction paper that I had and decoupage all my book pages right on it. Ever decoupaged paper on the top of the paper? Well, if you didn't, here is your chance to learn how to. I usually like to add a very thin amount of the Mod Podge, right, to my base, this time construction paper, and just simply add, paper, the other paper right on the top of it. At times, there could be bubbles forming depending on how much of Mod Podge you have, but in my case, everything seems to be fine. But because I was making this project live, I did wanted to show and make sure that when I'm going to be later forming my paper into shapes, everything stays put. So I've added, put it on my iron and just iron it all off with obviously having a coffee filter as my barrier in between the papers. So here we go. I'm showing you all is literally solid. So now I need to cut the remainder off because we do want to have some kind of shape that's, has double layers. And then I do want to fold my cone. My goal here is to make the cone shape spring egg nest. Or whatever, the nest. So see, I struggle a little bit because I do want it to get that perfect cone. That means is the bottom of my construction paper is nice and pointy, and the top is meeting almost evenly. So finally, I've done it a couple of the times. It all depends on how big of a angle you're going to start, but I've managed. So now I'm holding my top, that it's the most important one, because obviously I do not want to cut too much, and I'm hot gluing it from the bottom up to make sure that the cone is spiky at the end and it's almost even on the top. That's it. That was easy. That's it. It's done. So usually, depending on how do you want it to get your nest displayed, you could actually create a little handles. You could actually, does not have to be a nest. Later, it could be a nice vase for your flowers. So you do want it to have those pieces ready for you to switch as the season passed. So what I'm doing right now is I do have one floral wire that I'm just turning, twisting at the end, adding a little profile at the end over my pen, leaving a little spiky things on the sides, as you can see, because they will be easier for me to punch or attach to the cone later. But it's in the meantime, we are making a spring nest now. So I do have a plastic egg. We all have those. And of course, the easiest way is to spray paint it. But again, I decided to quickly add a nice coat of a chalk paint because I did not have a spray paint that was chalky. And all is couple coats, obviously. It's all dry, so now it's time to decoupage. And my goal here was to use the feathers. And I do know that my friends on the Facebook told me what was the name of the feathers I was using. I forgot again. I hope it's going to come back to me. So as you can see, as I was just pointing to you, that there is that little line. So my goal was to actually decoupage my feather right on my egg so it does not show that little plastic portion. Again, you do want to apply a very thin amount of the Mod Podge because actually we're dealing with the feathers, and then gently distribute it with the finger so it still have that fuzziness to it. Oh my goodness, that was so easy. And the profile and the design on the feathers is still nicely intact and it's still looking beautiful. Man, I love that so much. So I've decided to add a couple more to hide that little connections. Again, as I told you, the plastic one, because you never know where my eggs are going to. And I know that I'm going to be creating, and I actually did the whole dish of those eggs with those feathers. So here we go. Now time to decorate the nest. As you can see, is I do have some kind of a remaining piece of some kind of a reef that it's actually not it is a plastic grapevine looking pieces. But you could, and you also could use the branches, collect the branches from the outside and use for that purpose. I actually wasn't thinking. So now I'm disassembling all this and trying to see how I can make it to look supernatural and obviously in vintagey and decorate my cone. As I was taking all this apart, I decided that I think the back of my cone needs to be cut to have that nice, even look. So I've cut it. That's it. So it was easy. See, there was only one cut. So my goal here was to add as many branches as you can. But because I did not have many, and obviously they're plastic, so they are not easy to manage, I decided to add a little bit of the paper towel inside and start adding pieces by pieces inside my cone of those little branches to bring some drama. Well, I'm trying to be a bird here. As with everything that I do not like to rehearse. So it's again, some things could be very disobedient. So I'm trying to make the best out of whatever I have. So then I did find some kind of a mini reef right in my crafting area. So I decided to take it apart and add like the little outliner like the bird nest have. And again, I'm not a professional bird nest maker, but I just actually do love to try to imitate something that I see outside. So I'm going to just hot glue my green pieces all around, and those will help me to hold on to my branches that so-called branches that I had. So a little bit of the hot glue here and there. Obviously, I need to make sure that hot glue dries down, and that's it. I have myself a base. So now all what I need to do is just keep on adding pieces and pieces until my egg is nicely situated there and it's not going to fall inside. That means is I am going to add more and more branches, obviously reinforce them. You could, create like a little, dish out of the moss or whatever. But it's again, I do not want later to disassemble if I wanted to switch it for flowers. So here we go. I think I'm getting there. And as I'm looking at it, I actually do love the little greenery here and there. And I do have a lot of tiny flowers. So I decided to decorate the branches that I was sticking into my cone with a little bit of the flowers here and there. And of course, before I do that, I do wanted to add my wire hanger for the future, because you never know. For now, I do wanted to display my nest a little bit differently. Then I know I'm going to use this cone for something else later. So here we go, a little bit of the hot glue, and those spiky things are beautifully holding right inside my nest. So let's have fun and decorate with some flowers. If you follow me for some time, you do know that I do love to use what I have left over. So before I'm going to add more of the flowers, I'm going to use those green pieces that I had, they were originally attached to my little branches all around, and add even more greenery, scatter them all over my freshly made cone nest. See, as I'm trying to stick my branches going down, so my cone is a little bit covered. I mean, it's up to you how organized you want your nest to look like. But let's just see if my egg is going to actually disappear in there. And now look at this. No, it's not. It's standing beautifully in there. Well, how good of a bird I am. I do like it. I know I'm going to be gluing things here and there and adding more interest to it, because I do want this whole nest to be completely random. As everything seems to be working perfectly, now it's time for the final touches. That means I'm going to add the flowers to make it really look like spring. Dab of the hot glue right at the end of each flower, and it's the flowers beautifully stick in there. Man, how refreshing and how springy that is going to look like. Even though these are not the blooms, these are actually open tiny flowers that I gathered from Dollar Tree, but I absolutely feel that this is perfect match for my nest. What do you think about that? See, now I'm trying to bring the bigger ones, but I don't think the bigger ones would have worked in here. Let's just try. No, I don't think so. I'm going to be doing that tweaking a little bit here and there as I'm going to see the right place. But, for now, I'm super pleased. The only thing that I'm going to add is a little bit of a jute, just to reinforce, maybe add a little bow, that it seems like it was not hot glued, it was held by the twine, and maybe some kind of a little, thingy, some kind of a bow right on the side. Obviously, this is all optional. I mean, if you, this is just an idea, and I do like to have, random pieces hanging here and there because I'm trying to be a natural bird over here. But I did really enjoy making that nest with my friends on Facebook, and I cannot wait to show you the final pictures of that nest. And here they are. I decided, see, look how pretty. Yeah, I stick that big flower back in there. See, this is what I always tell you. It all depends on the place and depends on how is that going to be displayed. And as you can see is I decided to display my nest in the bed springs. I actually do like the feel of it. Look how natural this looks. And if you do want to see a better pictures of this whole construction of the spring nest, make sure to visit my blog. It's going to be in the description of this video. Link right there. So I really hope that you did enjoy this project, and I really hope that I inspired you to make one for yourself. Thanks for watching. Bye.